Come friend, come foe, come one, come all, to the highlands to see who lives and who falls. Jokers and fools, queens and kings, they'll take to the stage on invisible strings. For once in my castle, their roles are assigned, their fates in the game, forever entwined. Under cover of night, the traitors will slay. Can a faithful fight back, or be the next play? Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. From the meek to the fierce, pawns to dictators, bound by the strings of the silent orchestrators. Every move, every breath, a twisted decree, a game of betrayal, no one's truly free. Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. Who can you trust when the darkness descends? The blade in the back, the whispers of friends. The court is a theater, the blood-stained stage, a dance of deception, a war in a cage. Till death do us part, in shadows they hide. Murder and treachery, secrets and lies. They'll all stop at nothing for the ultimate prize. All are mere puppets in the world of the traitors. Come friend, come foe, come one, come all, to the highlands to see who lives and who falls. Jokers and fools, queens and kings, all are mere puppets on invisible strings.
Hi, Keith. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Traitors recap, season 4, episode 9. And I forgot to write down the title. But it was a very, very good episode. There, just a sec. Okay, there's somebody outside talking. I couldn't figure out through the whole intro. I felt like I was hearing voices in my head, which, that's not uncommon. But they seemed extra today, and there are people outside my window talking. It's not very loud, but I could just barely hear it. Hello, Philosopher Ruski. I'm good. How are you? So it was an amazing episode again. We are definitely, although the episodes are kind of, gearing down, once the excitement of Lisa and Candace going this week didn't have that kind of excitement, but still a very good episode in my opinion. Nonetheless, I found this person on Instagram who does these really cool drawings. And so let me switch. There we go. So I downloaded a few of them to show to you guys. But you can tell by this one that's Eric, seeing that it's Rob who is the traitor. Hey Kirsten. You can see here the drawing is depicting Eric in complete shock when he sees that Rob is the traitor. No, just 3 episodes and 2 of them were on one night. So basically 2 nights left. 2 Sundays left to go. And then we've got these are actually, let's wait on show. Hey Stevie Lee. Oh gosh. That's funny. Right now I'm just showing drawings from an Instagram artist. I think they're called Drunk Draw. Is I think of the name of them. But basically at the beginning of the episode we've got Eric accepting the offer. Which, we kind of thought he would. Thank goodness he did. Eric was talking about how it's a sick and twisted game. And then he's so completely shocked that they've got to actually murder somebody tonight. And Rob's like, I believe Rob said something like, well, yeah, that's the job. Let's go do the job. So Eric made the comment, and I love this. And if I can remember it, you guys will probably hear me quote this in the future. But he said that he needs a helmet and an adult diaper because he's about to shit his pants and his head's about to explode. I'm like, that is the best line ever. I need an adult helmet and a diaper because I'm about to shit my pants and my head is about to explode. Right, Kirsten? But when he saw it was Rob, we knew you can't resist the charms of Rob. So he was a little bit concerned that Rob might end up killing him, but he figures he needs to trust him, so he's going to. Rob, they get into the turret, and Rob's like, I've been doing this a long time. It's so funny. It's like Rob's put 20 years into this job. Hey, not that Lauren Marie. He's like, I've been doing this job a long time. But we're equals here. Let's stick together. Get to the end and trust me. I want to trust Rob. Thank you very much, Deadly. I appreciate that. So they want to trust Rob. What was I? I lost my notes. Okay, so he wants to trust Rob, but here's the problem: is that only one traitor can win. I don't think you can split the pot between 2 traitors, can you? Could there actually be a scenario with 2 traitors at the end? That's kind of mind-boggling to me because I figure, you could have a group of faithfuls, but I mean, I guess you could if the last 2 traitors can convince the last faithful, then I guess they could. I just didn't because what else but you would think in that scenario that why would the traitor like in that scenario you're not going to have the 2 traitors convinced, you're going to have them all going against each other. So in my brain I just don't see how that could work. He really has played this game like a legend, and he's so young, and he comes from a TV show called Love Island. So I don't want to hear any of these players ever say that they didn't grow up to play this game or whatever. Like, um, it was a tie, but those were all faithfuls. Those none of those were traitors. Hey, Pippi. Kirsten. See, I want Eric to win too. That's why I'm trying to figure this out. Is it even possible that they both could win? But the likelihood of that, because you get down to the final three and you're going to do everything to convince that you're not a traitor by putting it onto the other two. I don't know. It's going to be interesting if that was even a concept that was possible. So, uh, Eric needs to know who's got the shield, and Rob lets him know that it's Kristen. Um, and then they figure that Johnny's going to be banished next. So their choices for murder are between Natalie, Dorinda, and Steven, is what they decide. So, breakfast time. And we've got Rob in the confessional, um, talking about how he really does see Eric as an equal, that he's intelligent, and that they can get the job done and win the game. I mean, he makes it sound like he wants to win it with Eric, but I'm just don't. I can't envision that scenario. It would be crazy. I mean, why wouldn't you take the money all for yourself if you could? So, Kristen, Mark, and Rob are the first to enter. Um, they are glad that they enter together. Kristen's glad she's entering with the two of them, and right away they start talking about how Johnny is suspicious. Hey, Rainbow. As far as I know, there were two traders. They split the money, or they do the Stevie Lee. That seems logical. It definitely seems logical. Yeah, I do love Eric. I've liked Eric from day one. Oh, goodness. My anaconda don't want none unless you got Rob, hun. Oh, wait. Okay, anyway, that really didn't make sense, but it was fun. Um, lost my space again. You got kicked out of the watch party. That's pretty complicated, Pippi. You might want to deal with that on your community tab, okay? I'm kidding. um, if you know, you know. Let's see. Kirsten, or wait, so Candace, the whole thing with Candace wanting Johnny to go to the old gallery was really suspicious for some of them. Um, Kristen, I write Kirsten half the time in these notes. Kristen thinks Johnny could be using, um, Tara, and that makes her guilty too, even if it's just by, like the association thing. Um, Traitors, well, the very first season, what's her face won, and I was so excited. She's a traitor, and she's from Survivors. Uh, Sierra, was that her name? Sierra, I think, from Survivor, and she was a traitor, and she won, and she was so good. And I loved every moment of her game from season one. It was so good. It was so good. So we've got Eric and Tara are the next in, and Eric's telling the confessional about how it's his first morning as a traitor and he's so nervous and he's just gonna be scared to say anything, so he's just not gonna say anything. I'm like, okay, that worked out really well for Lisa Renna. Let's not go with that. But okay, Eric, let's see. Let's see how that does you for the day. Um, Tara instantly tells people that she knows Johnny's name had been coming up. It's hard for her because she's worked with him and that she just really knows for sure he's not a traitor. Johnny then comes in with the next group and says he feels like an idiot because he was basically used as a traitor blanket, um, to where the traitor basically manipulates their bestie to get them to believe they're not a traitor and kind of uses them as a blanket. It's kind of his um, explanation in a way. He says because he was her friend, um, that's why. So now everybody thinks that he's a traitor and he just doesn't know how he's going to come out of this. So now they're waiting on the last three. And yeah, they're waiting between Steven and Natalie and Dorinda. Mara points out, let's see. Mara points out that she thought it could have been Rob last night, and there was something I noticed on that. Let me go back to the beginning. I only did 2 tiny clips this time. And I know they're still gonna ding me for it because NBC Universal, you guys suck and you're jerks and you're just really freaking mean. So I have 2 little baby clips that you're still gonna be mean about, but these were necessary in my mind. One of the clips is just 1 second. It's of a simple meow. But this is the other clip, and it's really quick. It's only like okay, it's like a 12-second clip, 13-second clip. But basically, Cerie, that's what it was, Cerie Fields, not Sierra, Cerie. I knew something sounded so weird when I was saying Sierra. That did not sound right. Cerie. She was like one of the best players never to win Survivor. She got screwed out of some everybody had advantages, and then somehow she would get kicked off the island because everybody out advantaged her. It was just crazy scenarios where people wouldn't normally get kicked off. And so she got like the crappy ends of the stick. So when she won season 1 of the Traitors, like all of her Survivor fans, we finally felt like we got the win from Cerie we always wanted. So anybody who has not seen season 1, I recommend it. I recommend season 2. And you guys, I know how you guys have seen season 3 with me, but yeah, go back and watch season 1 and season 2 after this season. So let's see. So check out, I'm going to play the clip, but check out Rob's face. There is a part where Rob gets the tiniest of smirks on his face, and I don't think I would have noticed it in person, but I swear, because I watched this a second time, I caught it. Talk about how Candace was throwing the vote on him.
You.
Oh, you mean to murder? Put a target on him?
I feel like she was doing that to help the other traitors left. I don't think it worked at all.
I went up close on it. It's at the very beginning of the up close shot.
Left.
I was right there. 1 second.
Left. I don't think it worked at all.
It's so minor, and maybe I just paused my TV at the right point, but I swear there is the tiniest of smirks right when I press play.
Left. I don't think it worked at all.
It was just so freaking tiny of a little baby smirk. Like, and if somebody was watching really close, I kind of feel like it was a tell. Oh, cool, Stevie Lee. Yay. I love that. So anyway, I just wanted to see if you guys see that little smirk or if I'm just like I just had it paused, but I swear I feel like there's just the tiniest of smirks. It's play one more time, see if I can. Even if I pause it, you can't tell.
Left.
You really can't tell. It's just right before that pause there. Just the little part of his lip just went up in the tiniest damn bit. Yes, and in his eyes too. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you see it. Yep, you see it in his eyes. Just a quick glimmer and a tiniest of smirks in his eyes. I don't even. So yeah, okay, I'm glad that you see it too. So let me go back to the pictures. Um so last in we've got Natalie and Steven, and they realize that Dorinda was the one out. Here we've got a picture of Rob saying, I love me some Dorinda. She fully trusted me night one. I love the extension of the snake coming out of his arm. And then we've got, I'm just going to go through these. Oh, Dorinda receiving her letter. Dorinda, you did not linger, but at last the traitors did rescind ya. Like, I love this artist. And yes, as Pippi mentioned, the big hat. Just a sec. I'm apparently muted, Lord. I coughed somewhere, and then after I coughed, I didn't unmute you guys. Well, shit. Well, you guys saw the pictures, and then some of the pictures were from last week. I was also saying Team NZ, for sure. That's funny. I cannot. Stupid mute. I didn't want to cough in your ears. I love his suit. I was saying I love the suit. I think it's gorgeous. You can't catch the sparkle in pictures, but it sparkled in such a beautifully, I want to use the word subtle way, but some people wouldn't call sparkles subtle, period. It was a long mute. Damn it. All right, let me go back through some of these real quick. Did you see? Oh, it was probably right about here. So Mara says, I taught you a traitor. And I was talking about her Irish accent. I absolutely said that, Rainbow. You're right. And then here they come, Lala, like slams to the, like lambs, like slams. I was about to say slams to the slaughter, like lambs to the slaughter. And I was cracking up at Lala's adorable picture. And Steven, or not Steven, and Alan's teeth and the mask. I forget what movie that mask is from. And then we have some from last week. We've got Rob eating Renna for breakfast. We've got Renna and her humongous lips in the confessional as Rob snakes his way around her neck. He goes in for the kill. It does not look like your great grandmother's cat coughed up a suit. If your great grandmother's cat could cough up a suit like that, then cats would also be coughing up shower curtain dresses. And Pippi, if you make one comment about that, I will block you. We've got Colton. Yeah, these were just a few from last week I wanted to point out. And then just a couple of other faces from breakfast. And back to his suit. Oh, the hat. Yeah, Mara with the big hat. Yes, it's drunk drawn. I love them too. So let's see. So after Alan leaves, Stephen is really shocked that it was Dorinda and says that his bags were packed. He thought for sure it was going to be him. Immediately that susses Natalie out, and she thinks that Stephen was coming off as fake. The Pippi revolution is here. I could really never denounce Pippi. Mark then goes and tells Steven in the kitchen that he's 100% with him. Steven tells Mark that he feels the exact same way. Eric joins them. Steven talks about how he thought Johnny was going to kill him last night because they went at it at the round table. Steven says he's 100% on Johnny being a traitor. And then meanwhile, we've got Johnny and Tara over in another room, with Tara telling Johnny that last night in the kitchen, Natalie and Mara brought up Johnny, and Tara went hard to defend him. Johnny then is in the confessional, and this was kind of irritating me. can we pretend? Johnny's in the confessional talking about how they didn't, and okay, he's right. They didn't have normal childhoods because when you grow up to be an Olympian, there's nothing normal about it, at all. So I can see that, but he says that that didn't prepare him to play these kinds of games. Well, excuse me, sir, nobody is prepared to play these kinds of games because they're stupid. They're not, but they're also kind of hinting at the game of life in a way, in a strange way, too. And anybody ever that's been in any kind of a competition environment doesn't have to be specifically a gamer to adapt to these kinds of games either. Well, Terry's had, some issues adapting. Her sense has been slightly better than she thought. But, Johnny's adapted instantly to this game. Instantly. All of these people that aren't gamers are gaming really well. Really well. So, any of these people who say, well, I just didn't train for this. I didn't grow up thinking, I'm a reality TV star. I'm a housewife. Well, if you were a housewife, you're in a cutthroat environment. Again, another field that's a competitive field, being a housewife. So that just annoyed me about Johnny. Like, you can't use that as an excuse. Especially then by the end of the episode, he's saying, I'm an Olympian. I love competition or whatever. I'm an Olympian. I can do anything. Well, at first you're like, I'm an Olympian and I can only do that. And then you're like, oh, I can do anything. Shut it. Okay. So I know I got off on a little tangent there. Vive la revolution. Yeah, a lot of their gut instincts have been way off, but some of the gaming has still been really good. And then you see hints of the game, but then others whose gut instincts are so off convince the people who were on the right track to go onto the wrong track, or the traitors fuck with them. So it's just been really good. Everybody has basically been trying. So we've got then Tara's in the confessional saying that she's going to do anything at all to help her best friend. We've got Eric, Mara, and Rob talking, and Mara's asking if Johnny could be a traitor. Rob says, okay. Rob was saying that he's just way too much, and Eric is saying that he was just acting too acty like. And then Eric, adorable Eric, is talking about how relaxed, how relaxed Rob is. He says Rob is an eagle soaring in the sky. He is laying down with his crop top vest on, hands behind his back. And I'm like, his crop top vest. But then when I looked closer at the vest in other shots, the vest goes up to the top of his jeans. So it is sort of crop toppy. Like, it's so funny. That's why I love Eric. It did, I'll give you that. It did kind of look like cotton candy, Stevie Lee. You're right. So, Tara and Kristen then talk, and Tara is saying her gut feeling is Steven, and Kristen says, I don't think it's Steven. She basically says, I think it's you. And she says, because Tara always seems so scared, and Kristen naturally gravitates towards confidence. In my opinion, I almost think Tara was flattered to hear that somebody thinks she could possibly be a traitor. This was the look on her face. She's like, really? Who, me? A traitor? Oh my God. I don't know whether to be offended or complimented. She tells her very strongly that she's a faithful. And in the confessional, she's just talking about how she thinks Kristen is so smart that she needs to reevaluate. And if Kristen doesn't think it's Steven, she needs to come up with a new plan. that's what that's what she took out of it the most. And I am just cracking up. Her face, then she's like, really? Wow. I'm like, Tara, you're see, and even Tara has brought a lot of fun to this game. She cracks me up. So there was that. Then it is time for the mission. They get to the mission and they see all of these oversized Jack in the Box type things that look like they can fit humans in them. So basically, what the competition is, you're going to put 9 of them in the box, and the traitors will be answering opinions of the people. The people have to decide what the traitors' answers will be. However, the traitors actually have not done the questions yet, and the traitors will have to pop out of the box during each round and decide an answer and pop back in so nobody can hear them. These are the looks on Rob's and Eric's faces. Oh, there's Lala. Adorable Lala in her own box. Oh, and I found out a fun fact about Lala, you guys. You see how they have in parentheses? This is awesome because I didn't even realize. I've been meaning to tell you guys this and I keep forgetting. See in parentheses how it says that she whimpered? And, listening to it, you guys heard her whimper as they showed her in the box. Alan says that Lala is the quietest dog he has ever heard in his life. Lala never ever makes a peep. She never makes one single sound. She never ever barks. She doesn't whimper. She doesn't make any sounds at all, he said. And so any sound that comes from Lala is absolutely edited in. It's special effects. It's not Lala making the sounds. So it doesn't really ruin the magic for me, but I think it's cute. And I think in her head, she's whimpering. I think, they're just giving us what's going on in her head. So, little fun fact about Lala. Let's see. Like lambs to the slaughter. And I showed you guys. Oh, wait. Look, let me go back to that picture. Because that was the artist used this to. We're at 129. Right there. That was the artist's depiction. He says, here they come, Lala, like lambs to the slaughter. Like lambs to the slaughter. And she left a baby in your box. So there's Eric's stress as he finds out they have to hop out and do this. And Rob, like, look at them damn cheekbones, though. Look at that. Look at that facial structure. Look at that. I can't. He's so cute. He's so handsome. Those are some amazing cheekbones. You know what? It did too, me too, but then I decided that it has to be soundproof because not a single one of them discussed hearing any noises at all. Now, maybe that'll come tomorrow night. So I don't want to completely say that theory is 100%, and they weren't even talking to each other through the boxes. Like after everybody left, they didn't show anybody trying to communicate with each other either. So I kind of feel like the boxes had a bit of soundproofing in them, maybe. But I was nervous as hell too for the first couple. And I'm like, what? It seems like the cameras are playing tricks and they don't hear shit. Rob's blowing you kisses. No. He likes people who like shower curtain dresses. I hate to tell ya. Those are the women he likes. So, they can win $500 for every single right question. The first question they give them before they hop in the box, and they want to, the first question is, who is the most useful to the Traitors? Who do the Traitors think is most useful to them? So everybody has to climb in the boxes, shut the lids, and then the Traitors will come back out, decide the answer, and then Rob lets us know. Rob lets us know that he is nimble as a cat. Whoops. I'm sorry the volume sucks on that, but he said meow. I might need to go back and re-record that so it's a little louder. Rob is nimble as a cat. He has no problem going in and out. There we go. So, NBC is going to zap me on these 2 baby clips, but it is what it is. So they get out and they decide that they're going to do Tara, so it throws everybody off. So the first round, Johnny had chosen Rob. There was like 2 guesses for 4 different people. 2 people guessed Rob, 2 people guessed Tara, 2 people guessed other 2 people, and then there was like 4 people split up 8 votes or 9 votes, something like that. So Johnny had said that he chose Rob in the first question because Traitors want all the money and Muscles McGee over there wins all the money. So he'd be the most valuable to the Traitors. Tara is flattered because she thinks if they find her useful, they won't murder her. Tara's taking everything kind of personal and not as a game. And it was at that moment Generva got Rob's entire docs, taking the meow as a personal attack. Absolutely. Just finding out if he's got any unknown babies out there right now. She's contacting everybody he made out with on Love Island. She's running a full background because he meowed her. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. So, the next question was, who do the Traitors think is the most manipulative? Well, Rob, when Rob and Eric get out of the boxes that time, they decide that they're just going to answer Tara for every question to throw everybody off, and then it gives them nothing. It gives everybody nothing, but it'll give them information. So, everybody, including Tara, was completely shocked that the Traitors said that Tara was the most manipulative, because clearly all of us know that Tara is not the manipulative one in this game. So Rob is then telling the confessional it's worth it sacrificing the money because the information is so valuable. It's more important to confuse them than to give them any money. And so not a single question was right that round. She is absolutely also doxing snakes, yes. The garden snakes in my front yard are now in hiding. Actually, it's winter, so they're in hiding anyway. So it's going to be harder for her to dox them. So, 6 players in that round voted Natalie. Natalie's mad. because she's a faithful and she wants people to think that she is. Everybody was shocked it was Tara. Tara was crushed. The third question out of 4. Who do the Traitors think doesn't deserve a place in the finals? Tara says there is no way she's going to put herself or write her name on the card because she does deserve a place in the finals, damn it. So, again, she's just not wanting to get the gist of the game and how it works. And maybe if she does put her name down, it's not because she believes it, but because she wants everybody to win $500. More. So, Mara, 5 say Mara. Kristen said Tara. She said Tara could be playing a very good game and she's doing it on purpose and she's oblivious, and that this is just all an act and she's not really oblivious. Rob and Johnny both answered Tara, but nobody else did. So they won $1,000 for that round, and that's the third round. So then the final round, and they could have won $18,000 on this. So the final round, who do the Traitors think would make it the best traitor? Natalie, before going down into the box, has a great plan, a smart plan, and says to the group, should we all just do Tara? Rob points out right there, he says, well, it is a pattern. They all seem to agree that they're gonna do Tara, because clearly that's the obvious choice, right? I mean, I think everybody in this chat would have gone for Tara. So, finally, everybody answers Tara, except for Tara and Johnny. They said that they were not answering the question as a game. They were trying to answer the question logically. He was trying to go off logic, so that's why he didn't put Tara. And of course, that made people suspicious AF. They ended up winning for that competition. They won $5,500. So the total for the whole game, cumulative up to now, is $156,000 and $156,300. Steven was pissed. He's telling the confessional that money was left on the table and he is pissed off that whether you're a traitor or faithful, everybody should want that money. And now Tricky Alan has one last question for the Traitors. He wants to know, who do the Traitors want shortlisted for murder tonight? Bum, bum, bum. So he says the Traitors will then emerge, decide which 4 players, and at that point everybody goes back into their boxes, and then as everybody goes to exit the boxes, 4 players' boxes will remain closed in lockdown. And he also reminds them that either a faithful or a traitor may be shortlisted. Or as Mara says, a faithful and a traitor. I can't. Let me give up. Let me stop. They decide when they jump out, Rob and Eric decide when they jump out of the boxes, they are not going to put a traitor in. They're both going to stay out of it because either way, the faithfuls that they shortlist are automatically going to think one of them is a traitor. So they choose Natalie, Johnny, Tara, and Kristen. Rob says they picked Kristen because he is worried that if she got his scent, that she could be dangerous. So now the first group is headed back to the castle, and Mara's telling Rob and Eric that she is completely convinced Johnny's the traitor after the challenge. As the first group arrives back at the castle, we see the second group being let out of the boxes, so they probably were only in the boxes 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't seem like their missions are that far from the castle. I would imagine. So Natalie is telling that second group, though, of the shortlisted people that at first she thought for sure a traitor would be in the boxes, but when she saw that it was the four of them, she doesn't think any of them is a traitor. Agree, Kirsten. No shock on that. So, Natalie feels like Johnny is giving off faithful, defeated energy as body language. She doesn't see him being a traitor. She says his energy feels too defeated, like a faithful would. So back at the castle, we've got the first group eating, and they are discussing how Johnny was so suspicious and starting to realize how close Tara and Johnny are. And as they're talking about that, they look out the window and point out that the two of them are walking in together like two traitors or something. And then they're walking down the hallway arm in arm, and Mark is pointing out, look, they just walked down the hallway arm in arm. And, everybody's like, look at this. And Rob comments how they're playing a very dangerous game being so close. He's telling the confessional. So Natalie then pulls Mark and Rob into the bar room and says that she wants to talk to them because those are the only two people that she trusts 100%. She says, oh, and then Kristen's out there. Natalie says, yes, you can come and join us too. So Natalie says, if they're going to fucking murder me, I'm going to get it all out. Something is telling me Steven. She talked about how sometimes he's so authentic and then other times he comes off as so fake. And then with the whole putting the coins into Steven's basket was making her suspicious when Lisa did that. Rob is telling the confessional that him and Eric have all day long been planning for Johnny, but after talking to Natalie, he could be gung-ho to switch it up to Steven, basically because the heat will still be on Johnny tomorrow night, he thinks. Says he hasn't really had a chance to talk to Eric, but feels like they can make eye contact during the round table. So Kristen then says that no matter what they all decide, she's telling the group she is going to put Tara's name down because she thinks that the conversation she had with Tara in the morning about basically calling her a traitor and then coincidentally she ends up in the box makes Tara look like a traitor to her for sure. So Johnny and Tara are then talking in another room. Johnny says everybody's coming for him, and Kristen says that and Tara says that Kristen's coming for her. Johnny is like, all I can do is give it everything I have. And then they both agree right then and there that they are just bonded forever and they are best friends and they're going to go side by side, hand in hand, together forever and fight these people 100% in, all in, besties. Like Rob called them later, besties for the resties. So they're going to let everything go because they're both up for murder. They just want to let it all out there now and they don't want to lie to anybody anymore. So the round table begins. Let me see, I don't think I have many more pictures left. I don't think I took any of the round table or after. Oh yeah, just the big box with Tara and that was it. Okay. So let's see. Just a sec. Let's leave it on this picture while I... All right. So... I did too. And I wanted to record it, of course. I really wanted to record it. But NBC is mean. So Tara begins. Oh wait, so before the round table, Eric's in the confessional, says that he's nervous, but he is going to act like usual and talk only when he feels like he has something important to say, because that's basically how he always is. He's quiet unless he's got something to say. This whole season, Johnny and Tara have been thinking their friendship is so undercover, but it seemed so super obvious. I know. But then also, it seems like some of them are like, wow, I didn't realize they were that close. It never occurred to me. But it really does seem like it would be so obvious if we were in the house that they're both in the same. Yeah, agree. It does seem like it. So Mara wants to know. So Tara begins, and she's speaking for both of them. Oh yeah, and Steven came in thinking it was Johnny. That's how he's coming in, and that they're going to get a third traitor in a row. So Tara begins. She speaks for both her and Johnny and says that they are 100% both faithfuls. She knows she is. She knows Johnny is. Mara says, Tara, how can you make that promise that Johnny's faithful? She says, I just can't. I know he is. And Mara says again, Tara, how can you do that? And so then Johnny interrupts. I know, poor Eric. Leave him alone. He does. God. So Johnny explains how they've worked together for 11 years, and that's how they know each other so well that you come to rely on each other, and that they are very close. Mark agrees and says when you work with a partner, you just really get to know one another. But in the context of the game, if somebody I worked with was in here, I wouldn't blindly trust them, he says. Tara and Johnny immediately disagree. They're like, oh, no. We will blindly trust each other all the way, no matter what. We will blindly trust each other. Shut up. We will do it blindly. They were not having Mark's rebuttal on that. So then Johnny says that they are best friends and that they both have the same theory. And when asked what their theory is, they say that their theory is Steven. Johnny explains that how when Dorinda and him walked into the room and Steven and Candace were talking, and Candace asked for privacy. He says it just seemed like a moment between two traitors. Tara says, and for the last 8, I think you've been putting up some. Tara says, I don't know what that sentence says. Who cares? So then Steven says, the way he looked at it, Candace was just trying to figure out if her name was being thrown out, and she wanted to figure out who was doing it and who was on her side. I think Steven gave a great argument, and Steven did that argument like his faithfulness and his mannerisms and his attitudes track every single time. But nonetheless, I guess I could see where people might be sus of him. So, he says that the arguments are weak about that and that he's faithful 100. I also don't think that argument is weak. I think it's a strong argument. And I don't know as if there's really much of a comeback from that argument, even though he is telling the truth and he's giving it like a faithful. I don't think he could have done any more in that moment than what he did, basically. I think he did well for what he had to work with. Kristen tells Tara about her theory that it's her, about, the conversation and then the box, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not Tara. Shut up. You're wasting time like Natalie did last week. So, Mark is trying to convince people that it could be Johnny. He's telling Johnny he needs to stand up for himself. Natalie's going on that she thinks it's Steven. And finally, Alan is there to tell them the time for talk is over. And it's time to vote, but first, does anybody want to play the dagger? Selfish-ass Natalie, who only thinks about herself, quietly says to Rob next to her, she's like, just say you have it. Just say you have it. Because I'm the only one up for murder in the dagger group, so say you have it. Just say you have it. And Rob softly says, I have it. But then Rob tells the confessional he doesn't really care if people know because he feels like he still has something over all of their heads because he's got 2 votes. So he doesn't really care who knows at this point anyway. And the dagger remains unused. Now, what do you guys think of Natalie wanting him to own that he has the dagger? How in that moment would that help Natalie? Why would you banish Natalie when she's up for murder? Why would people vote for her? She's not even on the table to be banished as a discussion. Nobody is focused on her. The dagger, if he has 2 votes, that's not going to stop her from getting murdered later. And I don't get how she felt she did snitch and there was no good reason. I can't figure out for the life of me what she was thinking other than being purely selfish. Like how she played Survivor, purely selfish. We all saw how she acted at the dinner, and that is Natalie. And Survivor, in the game of Survivor, that's Natalie. And just from her history, all I have is that she's a selfish bitch, and that's just not good enough. I am dying to know, from a game standpoint, what she thought she was gaining by doing that. I don't know. So, he didn't use the dagger, and the votes come in. 2 people voted for Tara, and that was Kristen and Mark. 2 people voted for Johnny, and that was Steven and Mara. And then the rest voted for Steven. That was Tara, Eric, Johnny, Natalie, and Rob. So Steven was banished. It's that same Kirsten. Oh my goodness. It's so hard. Kristen and Kirsten. I can't do it. I can't get it right. Okay, so after the round table, Mark is telling Rob and Eric that they had talked about it being Johnny all day, and he just didn't believe that Steven could be a traitor. And then Natalie comes up to Rob and Eric and tells them how sorry she is, that she got it wrong. I know, you know what, they already filmed the reunion. Hopefully, we'll get an answer from Rob Has a Podcast. Hopefully they will ask Natalie Puya. Hopefully we'll ask Natalie why. Because I don't think I'm going to find out unless one of them asks. You've been called worse, right? Funny. So, and that was just last night, right, Kirsten? So Rob is then in the confessional talking about how stupid it was for Tara and Johnny to say that they were besties for the resties, because it just shows that they've been keeping secrets the whole game. So that's a good little insight possibly to see where Rob is going. In the kitchen, you've got Kristen and Eric. Eric and Kristen is coming at Eric now and saying you didn't have a lot to say. She is really stern. She's like, Eric, if I am being honest with you, you're just all like, let me think. I don't know. And she's making all the fingers and the hand and the leaning of the head and, you know, the gestures and the groans and the grunts and the sighs and the thises. She did a great job of it, but she was scary. If I was Eric, I'd be afraid of her too. He's in the confessional like, oh my God, Kristen is so scary. But he wasn't really saying anything until he put his vote in. When he put his vote in for Johnny, he basically said his piece then, but I guess he kept quiet through the rest of it. So Kristen is then telling the confessional it makes her nervous that Eric wasn't saying anything and that all these little things are starting to add up into stuff, possibly. She tells Mark alone then that she doesn't trust Eric. He's way too quiet. But Rob comes in and joins them, and she tells Rob the same thing. And then she says, if she is murdered tomorrow, just look at Eric. So it's time for the threat. Eric starts first. He's like, oh my God, that was scary. Rob agrees. He says that she is suspicious of you and we could very well be in trouble, but we still need to murder someone. So they talk about Tara, the pro points, just that it makes no sense. They say Natalie trusts Rob so much, but she does have to be gone today or tomorrow. They say Kristen has potential to put heat on Eric if they pick her to murder. Agree with that. So Eric then says, okay, well, let's say that she stays. What do I need to do? Rob's just like, well, you need to do everything to basically convince her that you are not a traitor. Or, the pressure's on you to convince her that you're not a traitor. So Eric says that as long as Mark and Rob are backing him up, he thinks he can get through that. And then, I don't know, for me it felt like there was still a little bit more to the episode. It couldn't just end like that. And lo and behold, it didn't. Alan pops up on the screen and says that tonight the four of them will have letters in the confessional awaiting them, and that they will all be woken up from their slumber and murdered in the middle of the night in the most wicked way. The Jack in the Boxes are making a rather unwelcome return. And this time, it will close on one player forever. So the four of them go into the confessional. They receive letters that are awaiting them that tell them to go immediately into the castle dungeon. There they will find a Jack in the Box, and they must turn the handle. And if a traitor pops out, you have been murdered. So it ends with all of them going down to the dungeon, and all of them are turning the handle, and it's playing the Jack in the Box music. But we have no idea which one the traitor puppet will pop out of to murder. I wonder if it'll be Natalie. I don't know. I have no idea, really. I don't think it'll be Tara or Johnny. So it's got to be either Natalie or Kristen. And it doesn't seem like it would be Kristen. But I don't know. I guess we have to wait until next week. And then after next week, there's only one day left. I do. I hate that creepy music too, the Jack in the Box music. Dun, 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 Sorry. You're thinking Natalie too? You think Kristen? If it's Kristen, then Mark and Rob would be the ones that heard Kristen say it was Eric. So Rob would have to have a good cover story for that, because Mark would go around saying that. But if Kristen stays, then Eric has to make sure he can keep Mark on his side. Kirsten, I'm sorry. Curly fries. I don't understand, Rainbow. Is that an Arby's commercial or something? I think I have curly fries in my freezer. I think. Yep. Yep, she does. So that's it for the week. We've gotten through another episode. I thought I would finish this episode in less than an hour. I still went an hour and 10 minutes. Damn it. I thought for sure this episode didn't have as much happening. And I would get in under an hour. No such luck. I tried. So, thank you guys so much. Baby, my cat wants to be pet right now. Say hi, baby. Speak. Can you speak? Can you speak? No? Speak? All right, forget it. Okay, you guys, thank you very, very much for joining me for this week's recap.
Come one, come all, to the highlands to see who lives and who falls. Jokers and fools, queens and kings, they'll take to the stage on invisible strings. Oh, once in my castle, their roles are assigned, their fates in the game, forever entwined. Under cover of night, the traitors will slay. Can a faithful